Okay, welcome everybody. I'm Jeremy Jackson. As you can see here, this is our class, English 252, Introductory Composition for winter 2021. So today, I really just wanted to go through the course outline and sort of set up some of the expectations for this class this semester. Okay, so as I already covered, my name is Jeremy Jackson. You see here. This is my office telephone number. I'm never going to be there, so there's really no reason to have this printed there. But you can reach me at any time by email. And that's part of the um, sort of charm of this class, if you will. The idea that you can reach out to me since I will hold office hours, but you can reach out to me pretty much any time and expect a fairly timely reply by me, probably within the hour. Every time you email me, I'll try to reach out to you, back out to you in response to your email. Okay, so this class is just reading the calendar description here. This course focuses on academic essay writing and critical thinking at the university level. English 252 is not a remedial course. Students should have at least the senior high school level of competency in both grammar and composition. Note, students cannot receive credit for both English 252 and Gen Ed 1401. Okay, and the hours are 42 hours. The credits are 3. So over here, uh, in the calendar description, it talks about the idea of critical thinking. Certainly in this class, once we get to the expository essay and the argumentative essay, and then the final essay, which is a research essay, it's certainly going to center around that idea of critical thinking and rely heavily on that. But our first essay, and we're going to get to that in a moment, is the personal essay, and it's not really critical, sort of centered around critical thinking at that point yet. But we'll get to that in a moment. But certainly, as we get later in the semester, we are going to start to really dig our ourselves into the idea of academic essay writing. The course times and locations online, completely online, right? If you're part of this sort of grand experiment of everything online last semester, you're familiar with that idea of receiving lectures either live online through Blackboard Collaborative or through receiving a YouTube lecture like you will in my class. And just to cover that idea, that concept, we're not going to necessarily meet uh, online together live during this semester. Unless enough people really reach out to me and say, "Yeah, I think it would be helpful um, that we do that." But I will set up a Blackboard Collaborate um, on our Blackboard site on our page, and you can go there and during these hours, office hours, 12 to 1, you could choose to meet up as sort of um, a study room with fellow classmates if you wish. Drop by, you guys to talk about and brainstorm ideas or run ideas past each other if you wish. So I'll set that up. And it might be imperative a couple times during the semester for us to meet together, and we'll go play that by ear. If that has to take place, then we'll do so. So office hours, I sort of briefly touched upon this earlier. As we have shifted to the alternate instruction, I'm just reading right from this online courses. Feel free to contact me via email anytime during the week in order to field any concerns or to seek any clarification for this class. An optimal time to email me in order to receive a prompt response would be as follows. So Monday, 12 to 1 p.m. So 12 to 1 p.m. any day of the week, and I'll get back to you. But feel free anytime because during it'll become imperative, I think, if you're taking many classes this semester, and many are, that you're going to get sort of maybe confused or lost as we approach maybe the middle of the semester when individuals are taking midterms. And it'll be imperative for you to reach out to me for clarification. That's fine. Do so. And I implore you to do so with the rest of your instructors as well. Just backing up a bit, I have 3 classes, English 252s, that meet on Tuesday, Thursday. So just disregard if this is not your specific class, WBMB. Just disregard that. Okay, so learning resources. You can purchase the book, which is the Empowered Writer, third edition, online through the bookstore, and then pick it up at the bookstore, or you can get it through Amazon Books. So Amazon.ca, it's listed there as well. I think it's around $80. So hopefully you can find it too through a fellow student that had this. I've had many 252 classes, and I've always used this text. So if you could find someone who's been in this class prior, that would be optimal, as you would not have to pay the $80. Probably get it for $40. But it is required. We're going to do chapter summaries throughout the semester. We're going to look at that in a moment when we get to the assignment section of this course outline. But the Empower Writer, individuals have reached out to me and said, well, I can buy the second edition. Is that okay? And it kind of isn't okay. So is not, because the third edition, the chapters that we're going to have to respond to and summarize for this class are specifically numerated. So chapter 6 is the first one, due in a couple weeks. So in the second edition, it's like chapter 9 or something, and some of the chapters don't even exist within the second edition. So I implore you to get the third edition. Note, students will require a computer with internet and a webcam in order to engage in Blackboard Collaborate. As Microsoft Word is required for this class, all students can download Office 365 for free at the following web address. I implore you to do so. And that's going to become imperative as well, is that I can't stress enough that we're going to use a Word document. So please download Microsoft Office so you can use Microsoft Word in order to craft your essays, right? Using Microsoft Word. It happens every semester. I get essays that are crafted using other programs, and sometimes I can't even open them up. One of them being Apple's Pages is a writing program. I can't open it up. It becomes really difficult to view it. So just think about that, getting around if you haven't to downloading 365 so you can access Microsoft Word in order to craft your essays this semester using Word. So course objectives and learning outcomes. Students successfully completing English 252 should be able to do the following. 1. Think critically when analyzing various literary works. 2. Distinguish between a text's main points and its supporting details. 3. Summarize another author's work. That will become important once we move on past the first essay in this class. 4. Use correct grammar or grammatical form. And everybody has a certain different level they're at in terms of grammar. So hopefully once we start getting comments back from me and other students, this class functions is what's called a workshop, where we comment on other students' essays so we can learn from them as well. So hopefully as the semester progresses, we get better and more sophisticated with our grammatical form. Number 5, excuse me, write unified, coherent, and complete sentences, paragraphs, and essays. And I find that most people, you're going to learn, I think you're going to learn a lot with regard to crafting sentence structure. I get a ton of what are called comma splices and run-on sentences that are just incorrect. And it's fine to do that, to make mistakes, but it's important that you learn from them as the semester progresses, as we go through the various levels of essay writing that you learn from my comments, and start to incorporate changes so that you write proper complete sentences and paragraphs. So 6, argue logically and ethically, showing sensitivity to audience in both written and oral presentation formats. There's no oral component to this class as we're online. So 7, use research sources effectively to support a well-constructed argument, including the following abilities: locate appropriate sources using the library catalog, article databases, and the internet. So just a quick note on this one. Gone are the days that we use a brick and mortar library, right, to actually go and sit and spend the whole day or a weekend pulling books off shelves, doggedly reading through chapters in order to find the information that we want to quote within our essay and use within our essays, right? And I understand that. So a lot of our sources we're going to find to sort of buttress our own arguments within our essays is going to be from online databases, great articles, journals, the internet in general. I'm going to talk about later when we go over MLA some appropriate and inappropriate places to get information from, right? I've had individuals quote Wikipedia. We should avoid that at all costs in academic writing. Wikipedia is a great place to start, but you never want to reference Wikipedia. You never want to say within your essay, according to Wikipedia article about giraffes are blah, 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 right? At the bottom of Wikipedia, there's references that go to the original source. I'm going to talk about that later, but that's where you should go. Always go to the original source when you want to quote something or paraphrase something. Next, evaluate sources for suitability and credibility. So that's going to become important, that you can distinguish between an authentic article that's bona fide, that someone has done research, or is it strictly someone's opinion who's not an expert in the field. So we need to be able to discern those two things. Integrate sources smoothly and logically into text. We'll go over how to give attribution, how to give background information, how to give authority to your quotes. Document sources correctly using a recognized citation style. On that note, because this is imperative as well, this is going to be a huge part of your grade, is to be able to use what's called MLA formatting style, Modern Language Association formatting style. Every English paper you're ever going to write within the walls of an English class, or in this case, the digital walls of an English class, are going to be using MLA style. Uh, you might be familiar, a few students have reached out to me that they're familiar with APA, which is what science-based classes use, but we don't use that within this class. So I'm going to go over how to use MLA throughout the whole semester. You're going to get a lecture on it. It's about an hour long, I think. It's boring, but it's imperative so you understand. Because I'm going to hand back your papers, giving comments and say, wow, you really didn't do any MLA formatting here. This is all APA. It seems like you used the paper from a prior class because you're using all APA. So we need to avoid that, okay? But I'll go over MLA with you in the next, as you can see here, January 7th. Okay, so detailed course content topics and sequencing. English 252 is an introductory university level composition course designed to focus on academic essay writing and critical thinking. We covered that earlier in this course outline. In order to enhance their current skills, students will study examples of effective writing and compose various written and oral assignments on their own. As we said before, there aren't any oral assignments. The oral component doesn't exist since we're online. Wherever possible, English 252 is designed to recognize students' personal interests, objectives, and learning styles. To that end, this course will provide flexible and differing styles of writing with varying modes of delivery. The following schedule is provisional, as we may need to adjust the sequencing depending on the pace of our online discussions. Okay. So some of this we went over already. The idea of it being university level, critical thinking, academic essay writing, as well as you can see here, it mentions the idea of personal interests you might want to write about. And I would say I would maybe implore that you sort of one of the essays you can do that with is the second essay. It's the informative essay or expository, and the expository essay simply tries to inform the reader on a subject matter. So maybe it is something you're interested in, whatever topic you choose. But we'll go over that later. There's plenty of time to think about that. Okay, as you can see today, today's January 5th, Tuesday. Introduction to course and class expectations. We're just going over the course outline today. January 7th, we're going to review MLA formatting style. I'll give you a lecture on that. It'll be thorough. It'll be redundant, but it needs to be, meaning I'm going to mention things many times, the same thing, just so you understand. I can underscore and emphasize that these are important mistakes that people make every semester that you can be easily evaded if you just apply MLA properly. So January 12th, review elements of personal essay with examples. I'll go over a student essay from a prior semester that I think is exemplary of the personal essay. I'll present it to you, and I'll tell you why it's good and why you should write in the same style, right? And I'll give you, and we'll go over what the elements of personal essay require. And then we're going to review January 14th, this is a famous essay, Black Men in Public Space. I'll send it to you, the link for it. And then you're going to post comments by the end of that day. When I say end of the day, just by midnight via Blackboard discussion. And I'll send you the directions. When anything is due, like we see here for January 14th, I'll send you the instructions that morning. And you have what you need to do to go into Blackboard in order to post that. So you can see here, you have a little bit of time till January 21st to get the book, the text for this class, in order to submit your chapter summary. It says via email. It's not going to be via email. I'm going to put a link in Blackboard that you can post your chapter summaries. I think it's easier that way instead of me having to search through my email and clutter my email with the chapter summaries. Let's see. January 26th, review elements of expository essay. So now you can see the framework starting to happen, right? We get a lecture on whatever essay it is we're expected to write this semester. We go through the workshop process. You upload your essay. I skipped this before. Your essay rough draft to Blackboard. And then you have a couple days where other students, and you'll have to go in as well, and I'll send you all the instructions for this, but you have to go in, you have to make 4 comments on 4 separate uh, essay rough drafts. So you read one essay rough draft. It's going to be randomly assigned to within Blackboard. You receive 4 anonymous essays, and you have to go in and just make 1 comment per essay that you think would help them sort of make their essay better to improve it, right? Let's see. And then student workshop comments via Blackboard, chapter summary due via Blackboard, and now we moved on, January 26th, where you take 1 month, it seems like, per essay. It's pretty much going to unfold like that. The first month will be the personal essay. The second month will be the expository. The third month will be the argumentative. And then we end the semester with the research essay. Let's see. And that's pretty much how it unfolds. If you want to go out at your leisure to go through this, the due dates of every day during the semester. As you can see here, just a couple highlights. No class. You certainly look forward to that. February 16th, February 18th, no class for us, as well as other classes. Let's see, other highlights. MLA refresh review. That'll become important because on the 25th, you're going to have the MLA test. It's a 20-question test. I'm going to post it to Blackboard. You have all day to go in there in order to answer the questions. It's pretty much a give me if you just follow the rules of MLA that you would have learned during the prior months with this semester. But individuals still either don't take it, either deliberately, or they forget to go in there and take the test. I mean, I send you the instructions and tell you that and remind you that it's today when it's due on the 30th. Sorry, on the 25th of March. Or individuals just miss half of it, which it seems like you should be able to get all answers right. And then, of course, the semester ends April 14th. Final research essay due via Blackboard. Notice that's a Wednesday. And we don't meet on Wednesdays, but that happens to be a Wednesday that I give you to submit the essay. So, instructional techniques. English 252 will function partly as an online workshop. That is to say, we will craft our essay drafts and other writing assignments in order to peer review them by uploading to Blackboard. So, just as I went over before, you're going to get an example of an essay, right? Each essay, I'll present you the elements of it, like what it's made up of. You're getting an example, a student example. And then you upload your rough draft to Blackboard. And then everybody goes into Blackboard and comments on 4 essays. And then the essay, you either integrate those changes into your essay, or you say, no, I don't think it's worthwhile, and you don't. And then your essay final is due at some point every month, right? An essay final is due. And that's how it operates. Classroom activities will include short lectures, demonstrations, explanations, as well as a variety of online worksheets for hands-on practice and experience. In addition, students in English 252 will be enrolled onto the Blackboard site specific to this course, available through Mendocino College website. Through Blackboard, students will obtain additional course information and have opportunities for virtual collaboration in groups and on projects. So I just want to address a few things. The workshop idea. We've touched upon this already. I just went over how it's structured, where we're going to upload our rough drafts to Blackboard. And then individuals will get everybody in the class will get randomly assigned 4 essays. You won't know the individual's name. So you just go in there and you comment something constructive to help them craft their final draft of their essay. So the essays operate like this. The essay rough drafts don't have to be more than, say, 2 pages long, but they should be 2 full pages, double spaced, right? But the essay finals have to be between 3 to 5 pages long, double spaced. For the first essay, it's 3 to 5 pages long. We don't have a reference page. We're not going to have that's APA, by the way, reference. So we don't use APA, right? We use MLA. It's not going to have a works cited page for the first essay, right? Because we're just going to write about our personal experience. So we don't need a works cited page. But as we move to the informative essay, it's also called the expository. I use those words interchangeably. And then to the argumentative and the final research essay, we are going to have a works cited page. But for the first essay, the personal essay, it's just going to be 3 to 5 pages long, double spaced. But you're going to see a great example of that next class that I'll be able to show you, and it'll become clear at that point, or clearer. Okay, grade assessment. Personal essay, 10%. It's the first essay. We're dipping our toes into the waters of writing academically. So it's not weighted as much. It's only at 10%. Expository essay starts to ramp up to 15%. Argumentative essay also 15%. Excuse me. Research essay, the final, sort of the big assignment within this class, 20%. And notice that the online workshop participation is 20%. So you, after you get assigned for each essay, rough draft that's uploaded to Blackboard, after you get assigned 4 people to comment on, right, you have to go on and do the commenting. Otherwise, you don't get full participation. And here's what happens also. Individuals might say, oh, I'm sorry, I missed the deadline to turn my essay in. If you miss the deadline to turn your essay into Blackboard, to submit it through Blackboard, you're not going to have the opportunity to comment on individuals' essays. So that becomes part of a problem in terms of participation. It takes away from your participation grade. So just bear that in mind. It's a huge component, as you can see here, 20%. That's easy to get to the score. It's easy to get all 20% of that if you just upload your essay on time and comment on the 4 essays that get assigned to you randomly. Chapter and text summaries, 5%. I think there's 4 of those. And of course, the MLA test at the end, 15%. There's no reason why everybody shouldn't get full MLA tests, all the full 15%, because you have all day to do it. Date of major assessments, personal essay final draft, so the end of this month, the 28th. Expository essay final draft, towards the end of February, February 23rd. Argumentative essay final draft, March 16th. That date just made its way into the middle of March as opposed to the end for whatever reason. MLA test, March 25th. And then research essay final draft, April 14th. Participation, Blackboard discussions, assignments, and workshops will be conducted and due throughout the semester. Final exam, you'll be happy to know there is not a final exam component to this class. Late assignments and missed exam policy. So just look at late assignments. They're penalized 10% per day late. You must write me prior to assignment's due date if you're facing challenges that require you to reschedule. Bear in mind that rescheduling any assignment's due date must occur before the original due date and must be in writing. So in writing means you're just going to email me, right? And say, hey, for whatever reason, I can't make this deadline. I know the final is supposed to be 3 to 5 pages long. I only have 2 pages. I'm going to take a 10% deduction and I'm going to submit it tomorrow, right? Let's see, plagiarized work will result in a grade of 0 upon first offense and will result in a failure of a course upon second offense. I think I've only had one student ever where I was able to discern that they plagiarized, right? What we're able to do on Blackboard is run it through a program, and it catches anything that seems plagiarized, and it shows us where it comes from in the internet. But most people, as long as you quote someone or give attribution to them saying they said this, or cite them within the paper, you're going to avoid plagiarism. It's easily avoidable. Examples of plagiarism include copying passages from another source without proper attribution. So just saying according to so-and-so. According to so-and-so, quote, and then you give the direct quote, right? And you're fine. You're safe at that point. Paraphrasing another author's work without attribution. Handing in work already evaluated in another course. And passing off another person's work as your own. So this might become a problem. Handing in work already evaluated in another course. So say you took a science course and it's one paper that you wrote within that course, your science course, was something that was very informative and expository, and it seems like you can just double dip and use it for this class. I would avoid that at all costs because it could be said to be plagiarized. You're plagiarizing yourself from another course, and then of course passing off another person's work as your own. We don't want to do that, right? Academic dishonesty, plagiarism, and cheating are serious offenses and may be punished by failure on exam, paper, or project, failure in course, and or expulsion from the course. I don't even know how you plagiarize on an exam, but I guess it exists out there. Common grading scheme. As with every class, it's pretty much the same. 93 to 100 is A+, 86 to 92 A, 80 to 85 A minus. And what you're going to see in this course is I might give you back a paper and it may be you get a 75 on it. And you're like, wow, can I get a 76 or so I can get a B plus? And the answer is no. I mean, if it's I'm telling you that it was a 75 paper for a reason. That was a B level paper, not a B plus level, right? So just bear that in mind. That if you correct the mistakes for your next essay, for your final draft for the next essay, if there is one, then you're gonna progressively get better and move up this hierarchy of grade scheme, right? I'm gonna give you a, a rubric as well that you can look at. That's really gonna lay out what is an A paper, what is a B paper, what is a C paper, what's a D, and what's a failing paper. Accessibility statement. If you're a student that requires additional accommodation to support your learning and have been approved through our accessibility service office, please contact your instructor prior to exams or any other forms of evaluation if accommodation desired. I'm sure a number of individuals are going to reach out to me and send me their form for this, and that's fine. If you have accommodation paperwork that you need that for this class, I don't foresee you actually needing it because we only have one thing that is time-based necessarily in one day, and that's the MLA test. It's 20 questions long. You have 24 hours to do it. So I don't see there being a real conflict there. But reach out to me, email me if you think that you need some sort of accommodation for that. Mental health statement. This is important. Medicine Hat College recognizes the importance of student mental health and well-being and has many resources available for supporting students throughout their academic journey. Services such as counseling, support groups, self-help modules dedicated to helping you manage things like anxiety, stress, depression, and relationships, that's interesting, are accessible to students on the campus as well as online. To connect with mental health and counseling, visit the student advising desk across from registration by calling 403-529-3819. Information is also available at this online resource, as you can see here. In addition, the Student At-Risk Support Team, SARS, is here to respond to concerns around mental health and physical well-being, security, and academic issues, offering additional intervention and connecting students with appropriate resources on campus at this web address. So please, I implore you, as we enter the dark days of, say, midterms or finals, some individuals are going to just drop off the map, and we're not going to understand why. You're going to miss an assignment here or there. And maybe it is due to some mental stressor of some sort, and that's okay. It's important to destigmatize mental health, right? That we can reach out to individuals and talk to them. Sometimes that just helps. And reach out to me, and I'll try to be as accommodating as I can. Student responsibility. So what you have to bring to the table. Attend online class lectures the day they are posted. You know, that's not incredibly important. Just as long as you listen to these lectures during the week at some point, you can hold them off till Friday if you want. I don't care. As long as you meet the assignment goals and timeline, right? Regularly review our Blackboard page. So that's going to become imperative that you log into Blackboard every day. You check your email every day. Read all assigned text prior to class. Craft all class assignments using strictly and only MLA formatting style. APA is not permitted in this class. Be attentive and respectful to the instructor and your fellow students at all times. That's typically not a problem. Be observant of the diversity of ideas and subject matter expressed in this class. Okay, that's it. Wow, page 5. All right. So today was just really exploring the idea of how this class is structured, its underpinnings, the substrata of how this class will operate through the workshop. The online workshop is going to become an important part of this class. You commenting on other people's essays within this class, the 4 essays that we're going to write, is become important within this class. Adhering to MLA formatting style. After you receive your lecture, it's going to become important and incumbent upon you to adhere to MLA formatting style in crafting your final essays, right? It's maybe not that important for your rough drafts that you upload to Blackboard, so maybe it's not important at that level. Really, that's really about how you are argumenting, how you're persuading on the page. Are you being informative? That's where the workshop is important. The MLA will be important when I sit down and actually grade your essays. Okay, so let's go back to the landing page here. So English 252, introductory composition. My email's right there, jjackson@medicinecollege.ab.ca. Reach out to me, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. If you have any questions, concerns, next class meets January 7th. That's Thursday of this week, and we're going to review MLA formatting style. Please email me if anybody has any questions. Until then, take care.